I might like these more than the chocolate chip cookies here. If you're a fan of Coach Greg Doucette's SKOR bar protein bars, you're gonna love these cookies. Welcome back to the Anabolic Hub, where we make anabolic deliciousness. We're back inside my kitchen today, taking a look at another original recipe, Heath bar, SKOR bar cookies. Oh man, this is quite the snack for any shredding plan, any weight loss plan, any maingaining plan. This cookie's got you covered. Loaded with protein, tastes so good, just like a real cookie. Let's get things started here by having a look at the ingredients. Here we go. Chocolate casein protein powder, all-purpose flour, baking cocoa, baking powder, salt. I can't believe it's not butter. Sugar-free maple syrup. Swerve. Brown sugar, vanilla extract, plain non-fat Greek yogurt, and you know we gotta do it, that ricotta cheese. Part skim. Optional ingredient when mixing if you need it for a little more moisture depending on your casein powder, almond milk. And you can't make Heath bar cookies without some Heath bar chips. Or bits, whatever you want to call them. We got them. We're going to use them. So it's another one of those magical recipes where we're mixing together some dry ingredients, mixing together some wet ingredients, combining the two for some anabolic deliciousness. So let's get things started here by adding in the dry ingredients together. First ingredient we need is 99 grams of our chocolate casein protein powder. 99 grams on the money. Next we need 60 grams of our all-purpose flour. 60 grams in. Then we need 12 grams of our baking cocoa powder. Boom, dozen grams in. Next up, we need a nice leveled off 1/4 teaspoon of the baking powder. Leveled off scoop of baking powder is in. And that magical ingredient that we find in most of our baking recipes, a 1/4 teaspoon of our salt. A finely leveled off 1/4 teaspoon of the salt, spreading it in. Done. And as with all of our dry... Oh, wait a minute. Hey, look at this. Look what we got. It's a sifter. Or is it a sieve? Or is it both? I don't know. But we got one. If you want one, there's a link in the description. But we are going to sift for the very first time on this channel with an actual sifter. You ready? I'm ready. Let's do it. Woo! Look how beautiful it's sifting. This is way easier than using a fork. And just like that, the inaugural sifting with the sifter, done. Just wanted to break in here for a quick opportunity to remind you guys to smash the like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and comment down below. Have you tried Coach Greg's SKOR protein bars? Let me know. What do you guys think of those? Comment section. Go now. All right, back to the video. Now it's time to mix together the wet ingredients. The first wet ingredient that we're going to put in is going to be 56 grams of the I can't believe it's not butter. The light one. Negative scale trick. Didn't invent it. And with this itty bitty amount you see on the spoon here, we are on the money, 56 grams. Our next wet ingredient is going to be 30 grams of our sugar-free maple syrup. 30 grams in, and we're going to use our spatula as we go here to mix up each wet ingredient. Here we're really just breaking up the butter so that it mixes well with the rest of the ingredients. Syrup's a good one to get that started with, don't you think? And our next kind of wet ingredient, because there is some moisture involved with it, is going to be 25 grams of our Swerve brown sugar. $25 grams in. Then we need 5 grams of our vanilla extract. Super tip on this that I can't wait to use because this one's almost gone. You want to pour this stuff more accurately. Take a toothpick and poke the hole when you first take the cap off. It'll come up much slower and you don't have to worry about an over pour like I'm worried about just about now. 5 grams, pouring it in nice and slow. Whew. Adds up fast, but I nailed it. 5 grams on the money. Mix here. kind of mash up the ingredients with the vanilla extract and the brown sugar with the butter. Just get it all kind of mashed together, mix it up as best you can. You want to get it as incorporated as possible. And for our next wet ingredient, we're going to use 220 grams of our non-fat plain Greek yogurt. Negative scale trick. As you can see, we were running a little low on the non-fat Greek yogurt. We only got 176 grams out of this. Thankfully, I'm prepared. New one, ready to go. And I've already done the math. You guys won't have to because you'll probably have a full container of plain Greek yogurt, but I need another 44 grams to round out my 220. And for our last wet ingredient, what's been proven time and time again as I've been experimenting with these recipes for flavor and for texture is to add 60 grams of this ricotta cheese part skim. If you don't have it, you can just add the 60 grams of plain yogurt in as well. But man, I highly recommend if you can get your hands on some ricotta cheese part skim, you use this for this cookie recipe. All right, let's put it in. 60 grams in, and we're just gonna mix everything up. And once you have one nice uniform color, it's mostly smoothed out, everything's well incorporated together, and we're ready to add in our dry ingredients, which we'll do in 3 separate batches. Here's our dry ingredients. First batch going in. Second batch. And the third batch. Keep mixing until you think you've mixed enough, and then mix some more. And if you've reached your max on mixing and it still seems a little bit dry, you can always add in a little bit of almond milk or even water, but I recommend you use almond milk just to make it a little bit easier to work with. I think I'm gonna add in about 20 grams to this just because I want it to be a little bit more together when I start making our cookies. So just a splash, 30 grams, you can measure it out or you can eyeball it, but you don't want to put too much in, then your batter is going to be too thin. So little at a time till you get the consistency that you want. And once it's come together a bit better, you'll know because it's all kind of one uniform ball of dough in here. If you move it around, there shouldn't be anything crumbling away from it. It's all kind of together, and you know you're ready to start making your cookies. All right, but before we do that, we have to fold in 75% of our Heath bar chips. So we have our 30 grams of our Heath bar SKOR bar chips that we're going to fold in here. Leave a little bit out that we're going to sprinkle on top of the cookies. So use about 70 to 80% of it. Leave yourself some chips to put on top of the cookies. I'm going to do 8 cookies, so I'm going to leave just enough to sprinkle over the top of those. Then once you get them in there, just kind of fold them into the dough. Get them as mixed around and as well incorporated amongst all the dough as you can, folding over and folding over. And then once you have them well dispersed within the dough, you're done, ready to start forming the cookies. And based on the advice that I've been receiving, today I'm going to use parchment paper instead of the tin foil. It does seem that the tin foil tends to brown or blacken the bottom of the cookies or any baked good, and I found that as I've been practicing with the parchment paper, that doesn't happen as much, if at all. So, long story short, we're using parchment paper instead of tin foil today. We have our high capacity non-stick cooking spray loaded. Fire away. Now what you want to do is make as many cookies as you like, but I'm going to try to form the dough into 8 separate cookies, laying them across our parchment paper. And you want to shape out the cookies just about how you'd want them to be, keeping in mind that they will expand as they cook, so leave a little bit of spacing in between, but for the most part you're making a nice cookie shape that you're placing onto the pan. And once you have your cookies made, you've either actually licked the rest of the dough off of your fingers, or you've washed them if you're not a savage. You're going to get your Heath bar chips or SKOR bar chips, and we're going to put them on top of the cookies across all 8 cookies. And once you've spread all of your Heath bar bits all over the cookies, making sure that you've gotten all of them on top of the cookies and none of them fell onto the pan, we're counting the macros, we might as well put them on there. You're ready to take your spoon and push them in just a little bit more so that they set into the cookie when they bake. The cookies are ready to bake. We are set at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 175 degrees Celsius. We're going to bake them up for 7 to 9 minutes, checking along the way just until they're cooked. You do not want to overcook these or they will turn out too dry. Let's do it. I just took the cookies out. They are puffed up a little bit. You can see that they've risen up here. They look a little thick. They look like they're gonna be cakey, but just like our chocolate chip cookies, if we give these 10 to 15 minutes to cool down, you're gonna see that those cookies are gonna come back down to size, and that's gonna make the texture super, super close to what a real cookie will not only look like, but what it will taste like. Let's let these finish cooling, and then it's over to the taste test table. Well, we're back at the taste test table, and I have a plate full of these Heath bar, SKOR bar cookies in front of me, and let me tell you, after they've cooled for 10 minutes, they still smell incredible. So good. I can't wait for you guys to try this recipe. If you do, I think you're gonna love it. If you like the chocolate chip cookie recipe that we did last week, you're gonna love this one. It's just as good. Some might even think it's better. If you're a fan of Coach Greg Doucette's SKOR bar protein bars, you're gonna love these cookies. That's kind of what led me down this path, as I was thinking, a lot of people are always asking me, where do you find the vitafiber? Where do you find the fiberyum? I wanna make Coach Greg's SKOR protein bars, but I can't find vitafiber or fiberyum anywhere. I'm like, I know, it's hard to find. It's either out of stock, or they're sold out, or they don't know when the next shipment's coming in. Some excuse as to why it's not available. I figured, how can we get something that's almost as good as Coach Greg's SKOR bars, has the same flavoring, same amount of protein, maybe a little bit more. And I started thinking, in what other way would somebody like to have that flavoring? Of course, a no-brainer, cookies, right? So we have our SKOR bar, Heath bar, cookies here that, man, I can't talk about them anymore. I gotta try one. So I'm gonna grab the one that is on the end this time. We'll go furthest away from me instead of closest to me. Give you guys a look and see what this looks like here. Look at all those Heath bar, SKOR bar bits on top of the cookie there. They're also mixed inside when we folded them into our batter. I've had it before, obviously. I did a little trial and error trying to come up with this recipe. I think this is the perfect match. Baking them 6 to 8 minutes. You want to go a little bit earlier if you want a softer cookie, so closer to the 6-minute range. If you want them to be a little bit more solid, and they won't be a crunchy cookie, but they'll still be a little bit firmer, a little bit more solid, you can go closer to the 8 minutes. Here I did 6. I like my cookies a little bit softer, so just keep that in mind when you're going to bake them. The time that you leave them in will change the texture slightly, not too much. Let's get to the taste test here. First bite's always the best bite, so let's get it going. Just a burst of those toffee bits as soon as you take a bite. Mixed with the chocolate. It's nice and chewy, nice and gooey in the middle. Oh my goodness. Unbelievable flavor, unbelievable texture. So good. It's almost like you're having a chocolate bar when you bite into it. It's that good. Just the right amount of sweetness. Obviously the toffee bits, they have a lot of sweetness to them. When you sprinkle them on top of the cookies, you're gonna get just enough on there so that every bite, including what's inside the cookie, is going to come through each and every time. I might like these more than the chocolate chip cookies here. It's as close as you're going to get to a SKOR bar without the fiberyum or vitafiber included. Oh my God. So easy to meal prep too. You could make a batch or two of these, meal prep them out for the entire week. It'd be a perfect match to any shredding meal plan that you're going to be doing. The amount of protein in these is perfect. One's already gone. I'm gonna reload here. If you guys have been missing those SKOR bar protein bars and you wish you had something to replace them, this is a great alternative to that. You get the same flavoring, same amount of protein, same deliciousness, super anabolic. You can't really beat it. What I've started to do is I'll make a batch of the chocolate chip cookies. I'll make a batch of these Heath bar cookies, and I'll take one of the chocolate chips and one of the Heath bar with me. You're never gonna get sick of cookies that way, right? A little variety in the diet's always a good thing. Keeps things fresh, keeps things exciting. All right guys, I'm gonna flash up the macros here so we can take a look and see what exactly is in these things. As you can see, there's a ton of protein, just the right amount. It will fit into any meal plan that you have. No question, the perfect snack to have either mid-morning or mid-afternoon. It's gonna get you through to that next meal. You have 2 or 3 of these and you're golden. All right, Well, I've already had 2 cookies, so before I get into really finishing this plate, I'm gonna have to get up out of here. But man, you guys do try these cookies, please let me know. Let's talk about it in the comment section below. What do you think? You watch me make them. You think they'll be as good as the chocolate chip cookies? If you've tried them, are they as good as the chocolate chip cookies? Do you have a preference on one? Heath bar, SKOR bar cookies, or chocolate chip? Let me know in the comment section down below. But until next time, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.